Hello and welcome to Building a Business podcast. This is a show where we embark on an adventure with entrepreneurs across various industries, picking their brains and hearts on what it's like starting, building, maintaining, and growing a small business. Building a Business podcast is brought to you by Virtual Palace Marketing, rehumanizing your marketing experience. My name is Sean. This week we are back with Eddie Liu from December First Florist. Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join our podcast. How has your month been, Eddie, since the last time we met?
It was I wouldn't say okay, but mentally it feels like a roller coaster. But Valentine's Day was up, and then after that it's just down all the way. And also, yeah, lor. But I have another problem now, lah, which is I need to get more money so that I can sustain my own life, my spendings and everything, my commitments and everything.
Okay. So let's maybe we can jump right in and talk about the Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day being one of the greatest, I guess the biggest one-day sale for your industry. How was it like? Did you outperform your expectation, or what kind of strategies did you implemented, and how did it go?
It started. 2 weeks before it wasn't going very well because I was but of course you have to advertise that before, like, because I'm still new in the market. Not much people have heard of my brand, so I'm still considered very new lah. So so I spent some amount to advertise, and then I get nothing in return, like zero return, like not even a few more likes. So then after that, the struggle is like, how do I get my products out? Because the product will, how would say it? It's the product that people will buy during Valentine's Day, but I get no return, and I was wondering why. Then I was chatting with a few of my friends that is in digital marketing, and so they kind of give me some pointers lah. And then then I changed all the advertisement settings, and I started to get a bit more. Not to say a bit more, it's quite a few inquiries, and then I already expect that people will not buy straight like 2 weeks before Valentine's. They wouldn't pre-book Valentine's, even though there is pre-booking discount. And then but people will still see your product lah. So as expected, the people will only start to buy when it's very last minute, like a few days before Valentine's Day, where they know that when they go last minute shopping outside, like walk into a shop, they wouldn't get, and people might tell them that it's sold out or something, so they start to kanchong, then only they start to like start to buy. Yeah.
So let's go to the traditional buying habits of Valentine's Day. Usually, in your experience, even without COVID as well, what usually people do is they actually do last minute shopping, is it?
Yeah. There's for people that will confirm buy for the girlfriends or partners every year, they it's a habit thing. Like if you are a person with you get something done and well prepared 1 month before something that's happening that will going to happen, then you will pre-book lor. But then most of the time people will just last minute shopping.
I guess it's a typical man thing.
Yeah,
that they will just
that's why
put everything to last minute.
The first two advertisements that I pushed out, I wasn't really trying to hard sell the product. No, wait. No, I was trying to highlight the product, and then after that, after I talked to a few friends, and then they said you need to change your format lah from picture to video, because video it's moving ma, so people will catch your attention first better. So I pause all my advertisement and then change it, and that is when I'm not sure whether it's the last minute thing or not, but the video ad did work lah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
So what we can do coming up from that one is that you can actually test it and see if you can prove the theory or not. So now your theory is to say that videos are more attractive than images, right? So let's say in the next sale that you have, you can run 2 advertisements at the same time, selling the same thing for the same price, everything being equal. One is an image, another one is an animated visual. So it can be GIF, it can be videos. So then you run 2 with the same budget, right, to see which one performs better. And in fact, you should actually target the same group of people, everything else being equal. The only difference is one is video, one is image. So then when you see the performance, let's say, for example, if the performance of video works better than image, then you can say, okay, in this instance, it has proven my theory that videos work better than images. Yeah, but because in our experience, right, there are some industries that pictures actually work better than videos. So it really depends on, it's not, standard across the board. Video definitely work better. It really depends. But yeah, so now you have something to test, lor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's come back to the Valentine's Day thing, right? Do you have any, let's say, plans to prepare for assuming the next Valentine, right? Let's say for whatever you have learned in this round, what new strategies will you implement for the next Valentine in order to get more sales ahead of schedule, or in general just more sales across the board lah?
I probably just will still do the same strategy. It's just that I might have a bit more variety, because people want to, even though they want that one thing, they still want to look at like what other choices do you have. I guess in my industry, the variety of, whatever variety of products that you have to be a bit broadened, so that people know that they can choose other things rather than the same old red roses. And then, but then it might not mean that they want other stuff, but they might still go back to the traditional red roses. But when you shop and when you see there is more variety, like you feel more happy when to buy that same thing, but then you know that you have other choices.
Okay.
That's one. And
so
then,
so you're saying that in order to prepare for the next Valentine's Day, you can try to create more options for them so they can choose. So with all these options, they will still go back to the basics, but at least they have an option to shop before they go back to the basics.
It's like if you want to get your grocery for example, when you go into one small mini market, like let's say Giant will still have the shop block kind, but then when you go to the big giant mall, right, you feel more happy when, because you know that there's more variety, and then you can get whatever that pops into your mind. Oh, I want to cook this, I want to cook that. Then you get, when you're more happy to shop in a bigger place where you know there is more to choose from.
Yes. But coming out from there, you would more likely than not to walk out with the same basket of goods.
You might find something that you never thought of cooking it, but then when you see it, you want to buy it and try to cook it. Something like that. Yeah, that kind of feeling.
Okay. So let's expand on that. There is a consumer behavior theory, right? That a lot of goods, especially fast-moving consumer goods practice, which is if they give people three options, they will usually choose the middle one. For example, cheap, middle, and more expensive. They usually go for the middle one. Or let's say Nescafe has the light, regular, and rich. More people will buy the regular. So in consumer behavior terms, it's kind of like a risk aversion thing. They don't want to lose out on getting more of that product, which means that they usually won't get the light because light would seem too light for them. So they might miss out on the taste of the coffee, right? But they don't want to go too rich because most people are not very adventurous. So that's why they always settle for the middle. This will work for price range as well. They always feel like, oh, too cheap. I scared my girlfriend think I'm very cheap.
Yeah,
Too expensive, I'm not willing to pay for it. So I just go for the middle one lah. That kind of thing.
yeah. That's why my product. The first at first I was thinking whether should I target people that likes to not like would tend to buy something uh, at a minimal budget. But then if I would target that audience, then I might not I might lose money like because you know that uh, when I get stock, it's basically a one bundle of 20 stocks or something like that. And then the smaller budget ones, they might want to just get five stocks. So I'm actually wasting 15 of those. So and then I try to upscale to 10 stocks to 20 stocks. But anything other higher than that, right? At first I want to attract the lowest budget ones. But then I was thinking like it might not work for me, it might work for them. And of course, like, if I have the number of customers coming in, like let's say 4% is buying the lowest budget one, then that 20 stock I can easily finish. But what if that doesn't happen and I only get one customer? So I'm actually losing money in that one order instead of earning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's a risk there lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about you mentioned just now about mentally draining. The past month has been mentally draining for you specifically because of Valentine's Day, or in general business has been bad?
In general, it's not really how to say that. It's not really from a work point. I mean, I have my own commitments. So when you know that you're not really earning, how to say it's like a depression phase where like all these negative things is happening in your life, and then your sales is not coming in, and then you're spending more money than usual, and then you feel like life is in a mess, stuff like that. And then during until you try not to go out, and then you don't talk to people, and then your mind will go into a dark mode like that, where everything is bad in your eyes. So, but it helps a bit when I did actually go and hang out with my friends yesterday in a cafe. So when you social with people, even if it's a call or anything, it helps you a bit better because humans are social animals now.
Yeah.
And I look more happy today lah.
That's good. That's good.
I've been in a very depressing mode for the past month, and then when things are going bad, and then you don't know what to do, and then you tend to do not want to do anything. The
Then
whole month is
then you spiral down into this very dark place. I guess it's a lot tougher now because COVID is really taking a toll on a lot of us, especially when you are at this stage where you're running a business and you want to be able to balance your mental state, as in you want to focus in work, and then sometimes you want to go out and let it go and don't think about it. And you want to hope as if as to see that your business is running in a way that there is growth, there is movement, so there's no frustration in why is it not moving, why is it not working. So, and when everything is just on a standstill, it really takes a toll on you, lah. Yeah.
But I don't think it's only during this MCO time. I mean, whenever someone started their own business, whether it's normal days or during this pandemic, I think most of the business owner will somehow there will be a phase where nothing is working, and then you just don't want to do anything, and then
Yeah.
screw it lah, don't want lah, don't want lah.
Yeah.
That kind of. I think most of
Yeah.
the business. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you bounce back, lor, and if where and every person will have their own supporting method where when like for me when I social, and then when I know that some of my friends is also not in a very good state, then it feels like you're not alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I was just speaking to another business owner, Raymond from Athletes for Athletes, right? He says that his team initially also went through this. It was a very difficult place for them where they were very mentally drained because they're not sure at that stage, they're not sure if whatever they are doing will actually materialize. It feels as if they are the only ones who believe in this thing, and that if it doesn't work out right, the risk is so high, and they feel like they're so negative about it, they're so down, they don't know if it will ever move into something. And they say that for them, how they were able to move past was that they give each other a state of mind, a place for them to rest and then come back again. So the plus side that they have is that they have each other, because they are a group of founders. They have each other to help them out. And on your side, it's a bit difficult for you because you are by yourself. So you do not have a shoulder to support you when you're down, and no one who you can support when they're down. So I guess you need to find a place that will help you. I guess find some positivity lah. For myself, when I was beginning this, I essentially ran it with two other people, but most of the stuff was done by myself. I made the leap to leave my day job to do this, and I felt very alone at that point. But for me, how I find some form of sanity is, no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad anything is, I always go to the gym every day. And not because it helps me unwind, but it gives me the sense of stability that no matter how bad life is at that point, right, I know that one thing is constant. I go to the gym every day and I'll come up feeling the same. Like, there's always a constant result that comes from going to the gym. I feel refreshed. I do a workout. So there is something that I'm doing right lah. It's that kind of feeling. Because if you feel as if, like you said, if everything you're doing is wrong and nothing is doing is right, your confidence level just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. So if you have one anchor, something that you're very good at, and you keep doing it, and you know that you keep getting better at that, right? Then you keep referring to that and say, okay, at least I'm doing this right. And because I'm doing this right, there's a chance that I can also do other things right as well. I'm not that bad after all, kind of feeling. Yeah. So
there will be
help, I guess.
When you're in that stage, and then you, like for example, even I go to gym, but it doesn't work on me lah. Even I go to the gym, so I kind of found a few more ways. One thing, when you are you're as a business owner, you always have to check out what your competitor is doing, and why are they so successful and you're not, and then you try to look on a point that they are attracting more customers, and then the more you look at how successful they are, right, the more down you are. Right? So
yes,
and then you will drop to a point where you drop to your mental state is very, very low until until you feel like I don't want to look at my competitors anymore. So whatever that I want to learn, right, I assume that I learned everything already. I just close out everything, And then one lucky thing is that there is a lot of podcasts on Spotify. Some are teaching you how to manage a business. How some are actually teaching you life lessons. And I I would say I'm quite lucky that I found one that clicks to me, and then I kind of felt better because the speaker says that it's okay to not have a dream. Like um, like when they say successful people will always have a dream or a plan or whatever, just uh, they work really hard for that dream, and then finally they succeed. But then what if normal people, like working people, that I don't have a dream, so but my life is done. So she says it's okay that you do not have a dream or a goal to achieve, but then it's not like you when you have a goal and then you're happy, and then if you don't have a goal, then you're not happy. It's just that you live your own life, and then if you have a goal, that's fine. That's good. But if you do not have a goal or a dream, right, it's okay because you still have to live as a human being, and then you can live off some. Your The point is your life isn't empty. So that kind of talk kind of make me feel a bit better now. Yeah.
Okay. I read a book by the founder of Zappos.
Mhm.
He passed away, like, I think it was last year. But when he wrote the book is about it's entitled Delivering Happiness. And he says that something that really resonated with me when I read the book was that when you ask someone why enough times, right, they always lead to the same answer, which is they want to be happy. So, and he says that everybody in the world has different definitions of success and goals. But at the end, if you ask them enough times, right, the the final answer that they go back to is, I want to be happy. Some people want to rule the world. They want to own the most valuable company in the world, everything like that. But if you dig deep and ask them enough times, at the end of the day, they just say, I want to be happy. Some people want just enough for them to live a life where they can explore and be adventurous and see the world and build good relationships with their surrounding. And at the end, that's what they want is also happiness. So I'm very happy that you found this part of I guess the purpose of life kind of thing, where we shouldn't fit ourselves into a mold, like how it's supposed to be defined as happiness, but we define it for ourselves, and as long as we're happy, we don't care what people think, right? So that is the most important thing. And sometimes not having a goal, it's not about not having a goal, but if your goal is not the same as some definition of what a goal should be, if a goal is just, oh, I just want to have enough so I can enjoy my life, that's a goal. And I find that a very good goal. And as long as you're happy, it's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now this whole video doesn't seem like it's the topic that we plan to do already. It's more like a therapy thing.
No, I guess in a way, starting a business helps you discover who you really are. We always start off with one dream, but halfway through, we realize that we are not willing to give up enough in order to obtain that dream. So we adjust ourselves and we discover ourselves. And then we find that, hey, that's not what we really want. After all, we want something else. And then you adjust your life according to the dream that you want. And for me, I want to be able to have the flexibility to wake up in the morning and play with my dogs, spend more time with my mom, who's not, she's growing older. And if I were to work a 9 to 5 job every day, I need to leave the house by 6 plus in order to get to work, to avoid the jam, stay there until about 8, 9 o'clock, go have dinner, go gym, reach back at 11 o'clock. And essentially, I will not be able to see my mom for the full 5 days of the week, and I only see her for 2 days of the week. So you times that by 10 years. How many days can you really see your parents? And how fast are they growing old while you're chasing after money, right? So I found what I really want while I was doing this. And I'm very happy doing what I want lah. So, and I think this is very important because as founders like yourselves, right, you will reach this point where you kind of feel like you're broken down, and then you need to rebuild yourself again in a different form, kind of like a resurrection thing, like, you rebuild yourself in a different form and you find a different light. It's good. I'm very happy that you feel that. So at this point now, you have found your anchor, which is listening to podcasts and getting some what is that called, confidence from there. And you did say that that initially you were checking up a lot on your competitors, and instead of objectively comparing, you start to personalize it, and then you ask the question, why is it that they can succeed and why I can't succeed?
Yeah.
Right. So just a personal experience from me is that a lot of people always asked me at the time when I started this thing and said, hey, why don't you check your competitors, And I didn't really want to explain to them why I don't want to check my competitors so much. They would say that I'm being very ignorant of not checking up on the industry and seeing, all these kind of things. But there is a reason why. And I think founders like ourselves understand, which is we don't want to be emotionally involved with our competitors. It's one thing to objectively look at the pros and cons they have and then strategize ourselves against it. But we tend to get caught in this, which you have gotten yourself caught in, which you get emotionally. Why can't I do it? Then it screws yourself up. It gets very bad one.
Yeah, it's like you it's the same when in life that you are not making as much money as your, let's say, cousins are, and then you always keep comparing, and then your family keeps comparing, and then you will feel like you are a piece of something that you're worthless.
Yeah.
But when you found your happiness, like that's even when you know that even if you earn billions a month, you wouldn't be happy. Even if you are in your cousin's shoe also, you wouldn't feel happy, because the way that the how hard they are working towards that income, right, it's not a life that you want. But then for some people, that this kind of life, right, is like very fast paced, and they love it, but you don't. So you don't really have to adapt to that kind of lifestyle. I mean, you do you, lor.
Yeah, you do whatever makes you happy, lah.
You have to ground yourself back into your own pace.
Yes. So, but then again, in the world that is very that widely celebrates material wealth and material gains and material success, people like us who see the world differently, sometimes we get lost. We forget our place and we get lost as well. So we need to actively retune ourselves back into what we really want. Always try to look inwards again. Because if not, we will get lost again. And before you know it, you're like, oh, you're chasing after their dreams and not your dreams. Because their dreams are so influential, because everybody else is doing it. You watch a movie and it talks about that. You read something and it talks about that. Everybody, your parents are, oh, you see this one, so successful, what, everything they have. So you get lost in their dreams.
Yeah. You have to come back to yourself, like don't wander around so much.
Yeah. So in a sense, let's go back to, let's say, okay, I want to tie the next one with increasing your profits. You did say that that you are working hard to increase your profits in order to pay off whatever you have, or at least be able to sustain yourself. Not to live lavish, but to sustain yourself and whatever you have without going to look for a new job. And do you have any ideas on how to do this at this point?
For the time being, I am still doing some. You can call that freelance job, where there's a few apps where you can people will look for helpers, maybe in the kitchen, maybe moving something, maybe most of the jobs are delivering stuff, so I have a car, so I can still earn a bit to yeah lor. But that one is
Okay.
personal one is the company's
Yeah.
stuff. So to leave it very clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just say,
That,
right? Let's just say if you would say that Valentine's Day was a good month for you.
I wouldn't say, but it's a very good chance. It's not really I would consider a good month, but it should be. But it
Mhm.
wasn't really that good. But
Mm.
at least my name is being heard
Mm.
for
Okay.
some people, and also I chatted with the other guy that is doing what's that name? I can't remember, but it's something handmade also. And then he told me that you have to set a budget every month to make people know that you exist. Like, hi,
Yep.
I'm still here, remember me. So
Mm.
yeah, I took his advice to slowly put some Instagram posts and stuff like that, so that uh, people don't really buy, but at least they know that this guy again, this kind of flower gonna appear on my screen again.
Mm.
But at least that people know that you exist. So it's a good start lah. So
Mm.
uh, I would like whoever that is listening, if you want to give some pointers to me, please do so.
Yeah, some of our listeners, I guess, will start to provide some pointers. So maybe in the next episode, I will compile some ideas, and then maybe you can have a look at them to see if those are ideas that you can apply. But
Comment,
right off the
comment.
uh, but right off the bat, right, branding is a very good exercise to do. But the downside of branding is your ROI will not come in very soon. So you are fighting between short-term and long-term gain here. And the idea here is you shouldn't sacrifice one for the other. Branding is important, right? But assume that branding will not come back to you in the next 2 to 3 years. What do you need to do in order to survive until branding can show the effect back to you, which is do sales.
Mhm.
Sales is not sustainable. When you stop selling, people will stop buying. But when branding continues overall past a few years, then you don't have to put too much, and your branding sells by itself. Like for example, now, nice new pair of Nike shoes, right? They are just sort of put it out there and people will start buying. It's because they have spent so many years building the brand.
Mhm.
And it's the same for all companies as well. So branding is something that you should do, but you should also focus on the short run stuff. So let's just say, for example, let's bring this to this part where I'm setting it up for this part where if we can create maybe 5 to 6 different versions of Valentine's Day in a year, we can
Mhm.
identify 5 to 6 different times of Valentine's Day in a year, right? That will potentially be able to substantially increase your sales, right? So of course, Valentine's Day only happens once a year. It's only one day, right? But there are other days. There are other days when someone can gift something to someone else. For
Mhm.
example, um, for example, let's take it from immediately from Valentine's Day. 9 months after Valentine's Day is usually majority of the people have their birthdays, right?
Mhm.
So birthdays means they will have celebrations, right? So then there are a few ideas that you can come up with. Number one is, let's just say if you come up with decorative flowers
Mhm.
that is specific for birthdays, where they can put in the years or put in whatever, or you can decorate balloons or whatever it is lah. So you put your decorative style onto other things. You can also have decorative flowers that work with cakes as well. So all the birthdays are there. Um, it could be an all year round thing, but because most of the people have their birthdays between October, November, and December, if you are more aggressive in hitting the birthday sales during that time, right? What happens is maybe the chances of you selling more during that time can be higher. That's an idea. And another one is maybe take advantage of the Lazada and Shopee monthly sales. You don't have to be with Lazada and Shopee in order to take advantage of that sales days. But what happens is during the single sale days, right? People have the tendency to be more easy going when it comes to spending.
Yeah. They'll be
So
on a full-on lookout on
yes,
any sales.
yes, and based on my content creator, right, in my company, Satish, he made an observation and he says that during all these single day sales, right, like 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, do you know when is the time that more sales happens? It's not during those days, it's the week after that, because you're catching up on the FOMO people, the people who missed out on the single day sales, right? And they are going out and buying things. So you have the people who will, like you said, those who make booking to buy during that day, those who actually buy that day, but majority of the people will be so busy and they'll procrastinate and they'll miss that day. So because they miss that day, they will go out and they'll probably buy something to make up for the FOMO that they feel. And most of the sales happens there. So you could take advantage of that, maybe create some novelty items that incorporates the skill of you as a florist, but also other stuff like the one that you made with the glass bottle and the Aquaman, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you could come up with this kind of more trinket stuff, and it's not specifically for a guy to give to a girl or a couple thing, but it can be a novelty, fun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work as well. So what that will happen is you can actually spread out your Valentine's Day, duplicate that high sales days, right, throughout the entire year, so you get more sales that come in throughout the year.
Okay.
Mm. There is another thing that I observed as well, is that your product and your industry is very visual heavy. That means visually very important.
Mhm.
And it may not be something that you want to consider at this point right now, but
Mhm.
I would suggest that you invest in a simple DSLR, because when you take pictures using a DSLR, right, the quality speaks for itself. I believe that the pictures or the products that you have are very beautiful, but it's not translated well into pictures on social media. So the reason why I say DSLR versus mobile phone is because mobile phones cameras, right, are not really very good one. It doesn't capture the light, it doesn't capture the depth, it doesn't capture a lot of things one. It's
Mhm.
actually very flat. You can have a DSLR that you use for 10 years, right, and you take the picture will still be better than the most updated phone camera at that time. So you can invest in a cheap one, a second-hand one. It just works. It does wonders to your social media and to your presence.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, yep. So the other thing is we can talk about, let's say, besides Valentine's Day or anything, is there any um, something like one of those great moments that you had for the month and great
Oh,
revelations you had for the month?
coming up is actually Mother's Day
Mm,
in May. Yeah. But
mm,
before that, in the meantime, I'm still thinking what to. I mean, can you only sell during February and May, right? So I'm thinking what else to do during this non-festival month.
mm,
So because the last time I used to work in the industry, there's not much. I mean, we don't really need to try to sell the first few years that I was working there. So mostly it's just birthdays. So I'm still trying to target those birthday gifts that is like, let's say, below 100 ringgit. So and test and see whether there is sales coming in or not. For the time being, before, I mean, my plan before Mother's Day. And then for Mother's Day, I'm trying to collab with other small businesses to come up with something that is not too, let's say, not too bougie,
mm,
uh, price wise, and also the whole packaging wise. I mean, it looks cute, but it might not look very expensive. So
mm.
because nowadays I'm quite I don't feel good in targeting all those big orders at the time being, because of the situation in our country right now. I mean the economic situation. So yeah, I have to scale down my expectation a little. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I like what idea you have with doing collaboration with other small businesses, and I would like to expand on that. Let's say, for example, I'm sure well, I'm definitely sure you know Nicholas Heng, right?
Yeah.
They run the kombucha business,
Yeah.
Scoby Boo.
Mhm.
So let's say let's take them and other small businesses like theirs as an example, as a set of examples. Let's say for Mother's Day or for any festivities in the month, someone wants to give something to them, and these businesses they are good at the products. Like for example, Scoby Boo is good at the kombucha, so they sell kombuchas, right? So if they want a pack of 6, all they give is a box with 6 of them. But
Yeah.
it would be nice if you are able to add a decorative layer to it,
Mhm.
charge your margin, and then when they sell it, so for every set that they sell, you're making a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do for Wednesday.
that's that I think is a brilliant idea, and you can always add a little sort of like a little caption at the corner, like a card at the corner,
Mhm.
decorated by December First Florist. So of course you need to have your branding, right? That's very important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or collaboration between brand A and your brand, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. I think you should push for that one. That's
Yeah.
very good.
Because I actually found a few, don't say supply lah, small
Hmm.
businesses that I can collab with, and then they say you just let me know uh within like 1 month or 2 weeks, then they'll get it done. So okay, everything's sorted. So it's quite easy lah. Thank God lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just I just need the packaging to source very nice packaging that can put their products and also my decorative stuff on
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I assume that you are in contact with quite a lot of small business owners, right?
Yeah, in a way, but I knew them before they start the business. I mean, times like this, a lot of small businesses coming in. So
Mm,
I was like, hey, you're doing this. Hey, you're doing this. Okay, let's collab. Yeah. So
okay.
it
Do
makes it
you,
easier.
yeah. Do you think there is any way to find like an organization or a Facebook group or something that has all these small businesses together and they want to work with each other?
Uh, I think there is out there lah. I
Mm,
mean, but joining a few Facebook groups, like it's pretty much very clustered, where
mm,
everybody is throwing whatever they're selling, and
yeah,
then
that's true as
I,
well.
I found
Yeah.
out I found out that it's a very I would, in my opinion, it's a bit toxic lah, where you join this group, you can only buy, but if you want to sell, right, and then you have to invite 50% into this group, and then you have to pay a certain amount, then only you can start putting your products into this group to sell. I'm like,
Okay.
no.
Okay. No, that's a very pyramid scheme kind of style, which
Yeah,
I don't think you should be a part of. No, no.
it's not like it doesn't have the teamwork element, which I
Yeah.
feel like a trade, not trade, it's like you're not really a selling platform. You're just a
Mm.
Facebook group, and then everybody should be equal, but you make it feel like uh you're the host, and then you are the top management, and then everybody else is your tenant or your
Or your
customer that
salespeople
buys
or
stuff.
something. Yeah.
So the whole thing is not a support group
Okay.
kind of feeling. So yeah, I quit all of them.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have
Those are not helpful to you. I'm sure there are some that will be helpful to you. And if you can't find any, maybe we could probably start one and get all the small businesses to come in together. There are a
yeah,
lot of,
true.
like you said, right? There are a lot of small businesses who are ready to collaborate with each other. And imagine if there is a group where they can just go in and say, hey, I got something. I'm looking for collaborators in this industry, and someone's like, oh, I'm ready to do it. Let's work together. That kind of stuff. And I believe
Yeah, but
that will create such a good ecosystem.
yeah, no, the whole idea is actually very good. It's just that you have to look for some like one or two person to be an admin, because when you have, let's say when there is a lot of small businesses inside already, and then when people want to join, right, and then I mean, let's say there is 10 businesses that join this group, and then invite here and there, and then sooner or later the cluster will slowly come in, and then you have to manage, like you can't,
Yeah.
you telling people off that you can't sell stuff like this. This is a collab only group, and then people are leave. So this kind of manage operating stuff you have to manage lah. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
idea is very good. It's just that very hard to manage.
Yeah, the moderating takes work. Yeah, the moderating takes work. But there are people who are very good at these things. I mean, I have been in all these BBSs and blackboards and all these kind of forums in a long time. And there are some people who are super good at moderating, and that's just, yeah, they're born with that skill. Yeah, we can just get them to do it. But in any case, I think it's good that you're heading in the right in the right angle. So the only difference now is that you need to be able to push it fast enough in order to cover the costs that you are operating as, so that you don't have to go out and do other odd jobs. You can focus on what you're doing and still be able to sustain your own income. Like I said to I spoke to Raymond from AFA, is that every company has three biggest fears. The first one is the fear of extinction. The second one is the fear of stagnation. The third one is the fear of complexity. So you are at a point now you are afraid of extinction. So you haven't reached a point of sustainability yet. You are afraid that if you lose sales in 2 months or 3 months straight, you won't be able to sustain your company. Then eventually you reach a point where you are like the Walking Dead, right? You do whatever you do very well, but you cannot grow. Then you need to transform your company in order for you to grow. And after that, once you have grown, you reach complexity, where you have systems upon systems, SOPs upon SOPs, and you need to simplify the SOPs in order to move faster.
Yeah.
So if you find that you are the only one that is, it's no, every company goes through the same, especially when you have a sole founder or a small business like that, right? Every one of us go through this thing, and it's once you go past it, you will kind of reminisce like how you were able to push through it. You find there is a little bit of nostalgia in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, I quite look forward to the day when, like, maybe a few years after later, I might look back like, hey, those days are quite crazy. It's like I'm almost,
Yeah.
I mean, my bank account is almost running zero, and then that kind of like, wow, very cheeky, very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, sometimes I miss that too. I mean, I don't really miss the part where I have no money to use, but sometimes I miss that kind of like you're at the edge of the cliff kind of feeling, and you manage
No,
to.
when you start something and then you feel like those days, like even if it's difficult, but then it's still like there's something that you kind of miss. I mean, some part of that moment that you kind of miss, like wow, when we started, we how like that. It's like listening to your grandma telling you, oh, those war days, whatever happened. It's like that kind of story.
Yeah. It's like they romanticize the tough times, and
Yeah,
they say how bad it is, but deep down inside they kind of miss it, man.
yeah. Let's hope that day will come sooner.
Yeah, yes, let's hope the day will come sooner. So in any case, that's all we have for this week. Eddie, thank you very much for sharing your insights, especially I do appreciate, I think all our listeners will appreciate the vulnerability that you express, especially as a sole founder in the very beginning. And I think this is something that everyone needs to understand before they jump out and start something on their own, because everybody thinks that it's very easy, but it really, really drains the hell out of you, especially mentally.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't tell this in front of YouTube, right? I think most of the people still think that starting your own business is a very what's the word? Very luxury thing that
Yeah.
like, oh, you're starting a new business, wow, very king. Like,
Yeah,
no,
it's like
we're
a
not king.
dream kind of thing, right? Like, wow.
It's not as good as we are not living as good as you think we are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
like,
yeah.
yeah. I get people say you are a big boss lah. You know, wow, you big boss.
Yeah.
No.
That's what when we get all the time. Oh, your own boss, oh, very good, oh, very rich, like rich, no.
Yeah, life is a lot
So
tougher on this side lah sometimes.
yeah. Mhm.
But if you
So
build it and it does well, it really rewards you. I have no regrets. It rewarded me well. I'm very happy. So yes, thank you so much for
thanks, brother.
sharing this week. And next week, next month, we will come back again and we'll see how things go. Hopefully, I think next month is April, so you should be starting to plan for Mother's Day by then already, right? Yeah. So then hopefully we can share about where your strategy is and how your, what is this called? How your growth in Facebook advertisement has become and what you have learned in a.
Hopefully, I got more updates the next month.
Can lah.
I to
Sure
tell
got
you.
something one. Sure got something one. That's the excitement of running a business. There's always something new to talk about.
Roller coaster
Right.
rides.
Yes, it's a roller coaster ride. So before we go, Eddie, can you tell our listeners where we can find out about you, your products, and where to buy from you?
So we are on Facebook and Instagram as well, and the website might be coming up, but it's just a catalog only, and then you
Oh,
still have
that's
to contact
nice.
me to buy. You just search for Florist December First.
Florist December 1st. Okay. So you're on Facebook, Instagram, and your website is coming up soon as well.
Yeah, and you can also WhatsApp me my number. It's on my Facebook and
Okay.
Instagram
Awesome.
page as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. All right. Okay, folks, that's all for this week's episode of Building a Business Podcast. Next week, we will return with Raymond from Athletes for Athletes and catch up on what has been going on in the past month. That is all. Our podcast is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and Spotify. We post videos on YouTube and clips on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. That's all for Building a Business Podcast with December First Florist and Eddie Liu. Thank you very much, Eddie.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.